Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be talking about building your stacking foundation with 90% silver, both constitutional and with silver dollars, so please stay tuned. Stacking Cat. Hello YouTube, and welcome to the Stacking Kat channel, where I talk all things silver with a little bit of gold, and thank you so much for watching. I greatly do appreciate it. Alright, so I was thinking about starting a little series, kind of like a mini-series about foundational stacking, the type of silver that you really should own. Now, I'm not a financial advisor in any way, shape, or form, but I do want to provide a little bit of my own playbook and how I go about stacking. Some of the mistakes I made and where I'm at right now. Still will probably make some more mistakes. However, it's just kind of good to at least get it out there, the foundational pieces and what is really important when it comes to stacking silver, both for the future, future valuation, liquidity, everything involved with stacking silver beyond just buying the precious metal itself or a coin. All right, so I'm going to start with 90% silver. As you can see, I have constitutional out as well as some silver dollars. I'm going to group these together as well as differentiate between the two because there is a difference, but the main similarity is they are circulated American coins that are 90% silver. Right, so Thomas Jefferson created a document about the new currency system that would be used in the United States. This was pre-Constitution, just when the U.S. Was trying to get everything settled and organized between the 13 colonies that were now united. And it was titled, Notes of the Establishment of a Money Unit and a Coinage for the United States. I put a little paragraph up here on the screen that kind of goes through how this was really the precursor to the decimal monetary unit, which was followed by a lot of European countries, then into Australia, Canada, and the like. So everybody across the globe really understands where this is coming from. I'm going to talk specifically about American silver coinage. That's where I live. That's where I find most of this stuff. Now, of course, in Canada, same thing. They have a lot of their 80% silver over in the UK and Europe, as well as Australia and a lot of other places around the globe, all have their different versions of silver coinage. And what they use is their currency. It was circulated throughout. Now a lot of it is being resold or stacked for its silver weight and value. So let's kind of get into exactly what it is. So it's anything that is pre-1964, circulated and coal condition, so not including key dates or any graded coins. This is purely circulated coinage you have for the intrinsic value of its silver. It is backed by the American government and was produced by the United States Mint. Therefore, you have that going for you, which is really important. And with the premiums of silver bullion really higher than normal, we are at the end of June 2020, and we all know what's happened thus far throughout the year in terms of buying silver. And we've seen American Silver Eagles, the premium skyrocket, and a lot of people are turning to constitutional silver. Now, there's also been a rise in the premiums on this as well. Something to take into account. I'll kind of go over the different calculations you can make to determine how much you're paying over spot, but there's still really good deals to find out there, guys. So just be on the lookout for those. A lot of people go back to this constitutional silver, for the low premiums. Like I said, they are highly liquid, and you could sell them in a financial emergency. So you could sell these, like I said, in a financial emergency. You're in a pinch, you need some quick cash. Every coin shop in America will buy this. Probably the most desirable for them to purchase. A lot of times they just take it back to the silver refiner and sell it back for melt as a way to recoup a little bit of their money. Really beautiful stuff. Now, this goes by a few different names, of course. Constitutional silver is the term based on that Jefferson document. It's a beautiful mercury dime right there. Let me change this lighting a bit. Now, of course, this also goes by a few names other than constitutional silver, junk silver, coin silver, circulated silver, fractional silver. Now, I don't really like the term junk silver. However, it is meant to represent silver that cannot be graded, just circulated grade, just an easy way to put it. I always like take it in kind of a pejorative connotation, that it's being, you're associating with junk, with trash and garbage and all that. However, that could be further from the truth. It's still beautiful, beautiful silver. Now, I'm wearing gloves because the stuff does get dirty. That's the main reason. You can handle this with your bare hands. Do not worry about that. You're not going to have to take any condition into consideration. So I do want to get into some of the numbers, some of the specifics of what each of these weigh. Now, each of these have, of course, 90% silver, and there's calculations you can do to understand how much silver you have and how much your coins might be worth. It's kind of a beat up mercury there. Let's get a little better example. So that's what I mean. They could be beat up. It doesn't matter. Still really nice. Really like those mercuries. So these all weigh the universal weighted measure of what each silver coin weighs for the fractional silver. That's your halves, your quarters, and your dimes, is 0.715 of an ounce. Easiest way to figure out how much it is compared to spot is multiply whatever the spot price is by 0.715. So I'll use 18 as an example. As you can see, you just multiply that out. Like I said, it's a universally accepted weight of silver. So a dollar face weighs 0.715 of an ounce in silver weight. And usually you'll spend, you'll see anywhere from, I don't know, it used to be like maybe 50 cents or $1 over spot. Of course, with today's conditions, you're probably going to spend somewhere in the neighborhood of up to $2 over spot. It's just how it is right now. Traditionally, you'd pay that little bit over, and when you went to sell it, you'd get paid melt. That's generally the rule of thumb. Now, you may pay a little extra if you're getting something like barbers here. Now, this is a slicked out barber. You'll probably pay the same amount of that as you would a Washington quarter. However, some places still might charge you a little bit more just due to the historical significance. Just holding this history is really nice too. I believe I have a standing liberty back here somewhere. Mess up this nice stack I made. It's all right. It's all meant to be played with anyway. All right, here's a dated standing liberty 1925. A lot of these standing liberties you're going to find without the date, and you'll probably pay a little bit more of a premium for the dated ones. However, sometimes not. There's the reverse. And one thing, though, with the older quarters, half dollars, you get what is called a slick or a slicked out coin, which means it's just like this one. Let's go back to this barber. You can see that a lot of the facing is run down. So you're losing a lot of the silver weight, not too much, but a little bit. And you have to take that into consideration when you're buying these. 20 of these, which is $10 face, is probably going to be a good amount less in silver than a 64 Kennedy, which was the last year that they produced silver coins. Of course, this was the only year the Kennedys came out. This was in tribute to President Kennedy after he was assassinated in 1963. So they put a tribute coin out for him. And 64 was the year that they changed the whole currency method, and silver, that was it. No more silver in coinage. Other than the exception, from 65 through 70, they had 40% silver in the Kennedys. I believe 65 through 69 they were circulated. 70 may have only been in proof sets or in mint issued sets. Maybe somebody in the comments below could kind of correct me on that and write what it actually was. And the Roosevelt dimes, very popular coin to stack. Let me change my hands. There we go. And the Roosevelt dimes came out as well as a tribute to FDR, President Roosevelt, after he passed away in office. So before that, of course, was that Mercury dime. Very popular amongst stackers, both of those actually. You know, a lot of the more prepper stackers love the dimes. You know, in an SHTF scenario, you might need some silver to barter for water, food, whatever it may be. And those would come in handy a lot more than kind of the bigger coinage. So let's get in then to that bigger coinage, like these Morgan silver dollars, which are really nice coins as well. This one's a little slicked out. Now you're going to pay a little more than you would for a fractional silver coin. Now these have more silver in them. Although they're 90%, they carry 0.7734 ounces of silver. The classic reverse. So they carry a little bit more silver than do the fractional coins. And they carry a lot heftier of a premium, especially now, since things went a little haywire there with silver and gold and all precious metals during this whole pandemic. And you're probably paying a few more dollars over spot than you normally would. However, these, when you go to sell them back, will carry kind of that numismatic and historical value as well. So you'll get a little bit more. You probably won't. You'll get above melt when you sell these back. You know, and if you don't, then try to either bargain or go somewhere else, because you do not want to lose out. Those are really, really nice. Peace dollars as well. Same scenario. 0.7734 of an ounce. Now they're kind of harder to ratio out. Of course, you just multiply that 0.7734 by spot to get what these would be at spot. However, there's no real easy divisible. The closest is about $1.30 per ounce. So since these can't be broken down and you're not going to cut like 30% of it off, I wouldn't think. You know, this isn't like a chopped coin like the old trade dollars back in the 1870s or 1860s or whenever that happened to be with China. It's going to have to be that full dollar weight. So like 13 of these would equal 10 ounces. That's the easiest way to do it. Or, you know, if you have the closest, it's 0.7734 for all intents and purposes is pretty much just 3/4 of an ounce. So if you do it that way, you know, 4 peace dollars or 4 Morgan dollars are basically 3 ounces. You know, that's the easiest way to think about it. Same with, you know, if you don't have a calculator, you don't have your phone on you, whatever, and I will link to a calculator down below that will make all your math a lot easier. But if you don't have that on you, just think that fractional silver is basically 70%, just kind of round down, and that the Morgans and peace dollars are basically 3/4 on the dollar, so 75 cents on the dollar. That's the easiest way to do it. You know, if you're in a pinch, you're in a coin show, you left your phone in the car or whatever. So with this constitutional silver, there is still pretty good availability for both of them. You're probably going to find in a couple of situations where it might not be around. In the 1980s, there was a big sell-off when the prices of silver really skyrocketed. And then after the 2008 financial crisis, a lot of people started buying constitutional silver as a way to hedge against inflation, not knowing what the market was going to be at the time. And that's another way to do it. I mean, it's a hedge against inflation regardless of the economy or the time period you are in. Of course, other times it's more necessary than others. However, it's always going to be there. Irregardless, of course, where you're at in a normal economic situation. And of course, I'm not talking about cataclysmic scenarios, but just normal economic times, fluctuating market. We've seen it throughout. So it's a good way to deal with that inflation is to stack gold and silver. And constitutional silver is one of the best ways to do that. There's not as many as there once was, of course. These haven't been produced since 1964. So once they're gone, they're gone. That's just the unfortunate side of things. So get them while you can. But I still think there's tons of them out there. I don't think it's a real big concern at this point. But stacking them now will pay off in the future. That is for sure. And so in my next video about foundational stacking, I think I'll get more into the silver dollar realm, the American Silver Eagle, the Canadian Maple Leaf, and those. Okay, so that's going to do it for this video, and thank you so much for watching. And if you'd like to see similar videos about silver, then please subscribe and push that notification bell. Smash that like button and leave a comment. Let me know what you guys all think about this 90% silver. Do you stack it? Do you have kind of the same philosophy in that regard? If it's part of your foundation as well. And until next time, this is the Stacking Cat.